Welcome back to the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. We're taking a look at Barossa Light and Gawler football now, and the season wrapped up over the weekend, and Craig Dawe is here to tell us all about it. Craig, thank you very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I could be better, but that's all right.
Yes, your men in the under 17.5s had a very close loss, unfortunately, and I reckon your mood might be a bit more perky if that was the other way around, but we'll get to that in a moment. We'll start off with the A grade, and it looks like this was a truly sensational grand final to wrap up the season. South Gawler winning it 14-10-94 over Nuri, 12-14-86. Tell us how it all went down, Craig.
Yeah, it was a cracking game of footy, Dan. Two quality sides going head-to-head. They had their moments, each time got two goals in front and the other one pegged it back. But it was a cracking game of footy. And even the last 6 minutes to go, James Bentley put Nuri in front. And we thought, hello, this could be another one here. And then unfortunately for Nuri, South Gawler kicked the next two to win the game by that margin.
There we go. Certainly was a cracker. And if you look at the quarter-by-quarter scores, South Gawler won the last quarter by 12 points, 34-22. And that was by far and away the biggest difference in any quarter. So what was the biggest lead of the game here, if you can remember? Because it looks like that final margin of 8 points would have been pretty close to it.
Yeah, well, they had going into half-time. I think Nuri had a lead of about 23 points, and South kicked the last two going in, or last three going into half-time. So the first quarter was pretty even. That's what it looked like to me, and everything suggested that going their way. It was a big arm wrestle. Nuri got away from South late, or in that first 10 or 15 in the second quarter, and then to gain the momentum back, they kicked the next two or three to go in just under half time, and then there was an arm wrestle again in the third quarter, and Josh Whitwer, who was very quiet for the day to his standards, kicked the first two to break the game right open for South Gawler. They were leading by 18 points, and then Nuri found a way back to get even again and hit the front with 6 minutes, and then South ended the game with two Nathan Barch goals, and one was a cracker.
Oh, there we have it. So South Gawler, the premiers in the A grade, and yeah, you mentioned the captains there. Josh Whitwer with 2 for South Gawler, and for Nuri, their captain Scott Bentley with 2 as well. So good to see the captains playing very well on the day, and a sensational way to wrap up the season. And I would imagine for South Gawler, there might be some fun being had over the long weekend for maybe a silly Saturday, silly Sunday type setup.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably disappointed they didn't get the double. It's unique and very rare to get the double. And to Scott Bentley, he got one early in the second quarter, middle of the second quarter, and it sort of changed things around. He had a sensational start to the grand final, and he spent 10 or 15 minutes off the ground in the second quarter. He copped one in the nose. I reckon he could end up with a broken nose, and I think that was really pivotal in the end. And when he did return onto the ground, he didn't have the same impact, whether because he couldn't breathe because he was all masked up because he busted nose, but he was influential early, and I think they're just copying an accidental knock in a marking contest really hurt Nuri's chances.
Well, let's take a look at the B grade. You're right, they were close to getting the double, South Gawler, by making both grand finals, but Nuri had the last laugh in the B grade, and it was quite a big win in the end, 9-4-58 to 2-4-16. For South Gawler, Thomas Clements kicking both of their goals, just the 2 goals for the game, but a very good win here by Nuri in the B grade.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably Thomas Clements was probably the unlucky one to come out of that A-grade side, because South went in with Flynn Pisani, which was a shock inclusion, and they could have been done with Dean Cutting, but with his immune system and with his broken hand. But Flynn Pisani coming in for the unlucky Thomas Clements, and that was one result I didn't expect, Dan. I was all over South Gawler. They're young, quick, but to Nuri's credit, they never, even from the start, they were never in it, South Gawler, and they blew them away early with a 4-goal, 5-goal breeze, 4-goal lead, but never got anywhere near them for that, which was really disappointing for the young South Gawler reserve side.
Yeah, it is a little bit. South Gawler 15-1 on the season. Nuri just 12-4. So just looking at those numbers, there was a bit of a difference between the two teams, and South Gawler beat them by 5 goals a couple of weeks ago. So very, very good couple of weeks from Nuri to flip that result. And yeah, you'd have to imagine maybe it wasn't the best thing for South Gawler to have to play them in a final 2 weeks ago, and who knows, maybe give away a little bit of their game plan.
Yeah, you don't know, do you, really, how you can turn that around, like from a 5-goal deficit to a 7-goal win. So, it's a 12-goal turnaround, but that's the joys of coaching, mate.
Yes, absolutely. So full credit to Nuri and their coach for, putting that game plan together and getting a very big win on the day in the reserves. Let's have a look at the under 17.5s now. Your men, Williston, unfortunately went down to Gawler Central. Not unfortunate for the Gawler Central team, of course, but unfortunate for you. 7-9-51 to 8-6-54. And once again, this looked like just an absolute cracker of a game. Every single quarter was close. First quarter, Williston up by 3 points. Halftime, Gawler Central up by a point. Gawler Central at three-quarter time up by a point again, and then the margin stretching out to 3 points by full time. So was the game ever looking like either team was in control?
No, they didn't. There was big momentum swings throughout the day, and the margin never got out to anything larger than probably 12 points, but for the talent that's running around in the under-17s at the moment, and as evident by the premiership table from 1st to 7th, there was only 2 games in it throughout the whole year, and it was a really good display of under-17 footy, and it was a classic game, and it was a nail-biter. We had our opportunities late that we couldn't nail, unfortunately, and they had a couple of opportunities in the last quarter as well, so we talked about taking the opportunity when it arises. Unfortunately, a couple of our boys didn't. A couple of their boys didn't either, but at the end of the day, they had their noses in front and got the chocolates, and which is well done to my mate, Aaron King. And obviously, we're good mates, played a lot of footy together, and myself being a Gawler Central boy, but the disappointing part was, they've executed really well. Like what we went in, we wanted to be exactly where we wanted to be. The unfortunate part is that we didn't claim the prize.
Well, it always beats going down to one of your mates than one of your genuine enemies. So at least there's that consolation. But well done to Gawler Central winning that one. And I'm sure there will be some good celebrations. And for a lot of these boys, it'll be their last game in juniors. And some of them, I'm sure, will be pushing for spots in the A-grade teams next year.
Yeah, it's a great transition. Like the couple in our grade got a sniff of A-grade footy this year. And I know Gawler Central's used a lot of their kids. They used 8 to 10 kids that played 2 or 3 games in the A-grade this year. So I look forward to seeing the progression of these lads that come from under-17s into the transition into senior footy. And in 5 or 6 years' time, you would hope that they'll be right up there and maybe winning an A-grade premiership at their respective clubs.
Let's look to the under-15s. Williston 11-7-73 beat Freeling 7-4-46. Williston got the week off last week because they beat Freeling 2 weeks ago in the first final as well. And, well, they did well to hold on and win again. So, different story than what we saw in the B grade. They were able to, in fact, extend that margin further out. So a good win here by Williston. Couldn't get it done in the 17.5s, but got it done in the under-15s.
Yeah, they go back-to-back, Williston, after winning it last year. So they got some serious talented kids in that side, and same with Freeling. And it's really good for Freeling Footy Club in the community, mate, to get some success and have representation on grand final day, mate. So and our kids are just too good.
Let's finish off with the under-13s where, quite frankly, it was a heartbreaking end for the juniors from South Gawler. 2 weeks ago, they go down to Gawler Central, 1 straight 6 to 0-5-5. They have to go the hard way through the prelim where they dominated Tanunda, and then in the grand final, for just their second loss of the year, they lose to Gawler Central again, 4-4-28 to 4-6-30.
Yeah, it was a cracking game, mate. I officiated that game, the umpire, the under-13s, and South got out of the blocks early, kicked the first 2, and I thought, hang on, they're on today because they are a very good side. And to Gawler Central's credit, they just kept edging away and got their noses in front at the right time and got the chocolates.
Yeah, heartbreaker to go through undefeated and then lose to the same team twice in finals. But yeah, Gawler Central, well done to them. A very good effort to beat the undefeated team not once but twice and claim the premiership there in the under-13s. And that is a wrap on Barossa Light and Gawler football for season 2023. Craig, thank you for coming on and chatting to me for these last couple of weeks, but of course for the whole season before that, coming on and chatting to Wayne. Really appreciated your updates throughout the season, and hopefully you enjoy some rest now. But from what I've heard from all of our sports correspondents, it's pretty much just straight on to summer sports. No time to rest for the wicked.
No, that's right, mate. All the seasons come together pretty quickly, mate. But thank you for your time, mate. Really appreciate it.
Have a good off-season, and we'll chat to you next year.
No worries, buddy. Look forward to it.